friends, and welcome to your horoscope for May of 2021. Where Leo, this month we are actually going to start a slowdown. You'll feel the energy, I think, take a shift of direction by the time we hit the 23rd of this month, where Saturn is going to take its retrograde, joining Pluto, but then we're also going to welcome Mercury to that retrograde. So we really begin to increase the retrograde activity, which means it is our indicator that it is the time to slow down, to be a little bit more in review mode than push forward mode. We've made great progress with whatever we've pushed forward. Even if you haven't been able to fully recognize it yet, during a retrograde, times are really revealing as to the progress you've been making. So that's very exciting. We've also got Jupiter moving into the energy of Pisces just to give us a little snack, just a little treat, just a little preview of what's to come. So we'll talk all about that and what's coming up in this month. So right at the beginning of the month, Leo, on the 3rd, we see Mercury moving into the energy of Gemini, coming back home. This is an air energy. Typically, fire energies move very well when an air energy gets activated. And this is going to activate for you your 11th house space. Now, just on the 8th, we're also going to see Venus pulling into the energy of Gemini as well. So not only does the 11th house space of your social groupings, your friends, your all sorts of organizations, social media, long-range plans, goals, and designs, these all get heavily activated for you, but they're also magnetized with busyness because Venus will be pulling ideas, pulling information, pulling connections your direction. So expect at the beginning of the month, Leo, for things to be a little bit more busy. And maybe you're even more attracted to things that are online than you have been for a while, or you're attracted to information, or some kind of learning maybe even has your attention at this particular time. Now on the 11th, we're going to have a new moon in the energy of Taurus. This is going to be at 21 degrees of Taurus, so make sure you locate that on your chart, okay? The new moon is our opportunity to plant our seeds of intention, to begin something new, or to get a fresh perspective on something, bring new vision. Maybe you'll get fresh pair of glasses, right? You're looking at the same old thing, but you get to look at it a different way, in a way that you just couldn't see it before. So at this new moon in the 10th house, you could definitely see new information, new opportunities. I think perhaps even because Taurus is an earth sign, an opportunity for a promotion or some kind of bonus that comes from the work zone. But the 10th house is not only limited to your career and to the work that you're doing, but also in that 10th house, we see your reputation. Taurus is ruled by the energy of Venus. So Venus at the top of the chart tends to be really attractive in the public light. So is there something that you're doing that you're personally trying to put yourself out there, you're putting a product, or you're putting something out there? Either way, it'll make you a little bit more attractive to those in a position of power to help you get out there, or maybe even to take that promotion. This particular moon is also in a really nice harmony with Neptune and Pluto. So I think the ideals that you even have around work, or around the reputation or the status that you carry in the world, this is a nice energy to help shift you into that. Now on the 13th, we see Jupiter moving into the energy of Pisces, where he is perfectly at home because he is in traditional rulership in the energy of Pisces. He's also in the vibe of Neptune as well. So between Jupiter and Neptune both being in Pisces, everybody is living their best life. It's a very expansive, boundless, no end kind of energy. Now this will be lighting up your 8th house space. So between May and July of 2021, I really want you to start to take note of your 8th house: joint resources, joint connections, collaborations, fear, sex, vulnerability, counseling, astrology, interdependence instead of codependence. What's the dependence level? Where are you at in your own joint connections with other people? Jupiter here is going to bring an expansion of these lessons and these ideas, because the only way to gain the wisdom is to have the experience. So I want you to take note of what's happening here. Jupiter is a benefic planet, so it does expand this energy, and the idea is to bring a benefit, but maybe the benefit you need is to learn about not being codependent. Maybe you have to learn about having your own money and your own way and doing it your own thing. Maybe the wisdom that you need to have or the benefit you need to have is about learning to really vulnerably engage and meld with another human being. We don't know exactly what the benefit will be. That will very much so depend on your chart layout. But start to pay attention to what's going on, because Jupiter's travels right here will show you exactly what you're going to work on in 2022. Now, on the 20th, we see the sun move into the energy of Gemini, and this lights up your 11th house space as well. So we've got Mercury, we've got Venus, we've got nodes over there, and now we've got the sun bringing light, heat, life, and vitality. So certainly the social arena this month is busy, Leo. You are in them streets. There's social streets, okay? This could also be that maybe you don't want anything to do with social media or social groupings. Many places are still very much so locked down, but where are you socially engaging? Or where is this Gemini energy giving you new ideas, new communications, new conversation, new learning? Maybe you're taking a class or teaching a class about what you want in your long range plans, goals, and designs. Gemini energy in the 11th house is also so phenomenal for clear communications in your groups, with your relationships, in your friendships. So either way, it's a very friendly time where it could also just be very, very busy, because Gemini tends to be a little bit of a busybody. On the 23rd, we see Saturn stepping into this retrograde in the energy of Aquarius. Now, Saturn's going to begin this retrograde at 13 degrees of Aquarius. We'll come out of retrograde October 10th at 6 degrees of Aquarius. So this is going to be lighting up your 7th house space. So now I'm going to ask you to look at when Saturn moved into Aquarius back in December all the way until right now. So when it goes retrograde, what have you been learning about relationships? What have you been learning about the connection and the balance of relationships? Where does a relationship maybe need to innovate for it to be healthy? Where is there a place where you are willing and ready to maybe contract and create some kind of marriage? A contract is a marriage, so it could be a business partnership. Where is it that you're thinking, okay, I think I might really want to get married. I might really want to get divorced. What has been piquing your attention? Because Saturn's been showing you what's not working so that it can be reset and really deliver something quality. It's trying to take you to this next level. So it's not about that you're doing everything wrong. Saturn's just coming around and identifying any cracks that are available, handing you different and new responsibilities, but a willingness to take them on as well, especially if you work with Saturn instead of against it. So use your retrograde time between now and October to see what you've been working on, and then also learn how to course correct or come to the next level with your attitudes and your actions around it, okay? As we close out, we're not ready to close out the month. As we get to the 26th, we need to have an eclipse. We're going to have a full moon lunar eclipse in the energy of Sagittarius at 5 degrees. Now, this is interesting, I think, Leo, because it's going to be in your 5th house space. So romance, dating, desire, joy, play, expression, definitely things with children. But the lunar eclipse is saying that something needs to be ended, acknowledged, or adjusted, but it blots out the consciousness and the emotions that we had in this area before. It's like it resets them. So you really have the opportunity to shed light and have a huge fresh start here. This eclipse in Sagittarius is square its ruler Jupiter. So you're trying, maybe you've been trying to make something happen and it's been squaring against that ability to expand out. But now you're put into a position where under this, you know, and you see it for what it is. You acknowledge the change that needs to happen. And that's ultimately what allows you to expand out. In the 5th house, one of the things I think of is truly, what's been going on in your desire zone? Do you feel like something's been blocking the desire, the passion, the fire that you have for life? What are truths or ideas or patterns you've had in your dating life, in your patterns with your children, in your expression? Where are you needing to develop some new truths in order to move this expansion forward? Either way, a lunar eclipse creates a shakeup. It has to. We have to be emotionally rocked or changed in order to take on new actions and attitudes in this area. So look for a pretty big restart in this 5th house area for you. I think it's very exciting because what always comes after is something really beautiful that we really typically didn't expect. So over this next 6 months, you can watch how this 5th house develops for you. Now, if this does happen to be something where it's new truths or moving towards higher education for your children, that could be something that's definitely on the table. We'll be ending one school year, getting ready to advance to another, and not every kid is particularly enthused about how education's been going. So leave space, because it's a lunar energy, to talk about the feelings that are maybe behind that as well. Now, as we close out the month on the 29th, we've got Mercury stepping into its retrograde at 24 degrees of Gemini. This is again going to light up your 11th house space. Now, from the beginning of May until now, what has Mercury in Gemini? What's been happening in your 11th house? Social things, friends, social media, long-range plans, goals, designs, organizations. What's been happening? Because what's been happening there, this is what you will review during the retrograde. And a Mercury retrograde takes our mind back, our thinking, our connection. This could even be that, were you attached to, some kind of educational program or track or something like that, and you're going back over it and you're like, okay, this doesn't work for me. Or are you going back to something that you put down before and it's like, yes, I'm ready to take this on? Absolutely, a Mercury retrograde, especially because Venus is over here, could bring a friend back from the past, and you guys need to have a conversation about what's going on. And maybe sometimes that conversation is you had a falling out, or you just haven't seen each other in a long time. You find each other on Facebook. And sometimes it's, yeah, I've liked you since 6th grade. Let's make it happen. Okay, so whatever happens during your Mercury retrograde, just remember whatever's coming back is actually what needs you to enjoy this slowdown right now. Give it your full attention so that you can resolve what's happening here and ultimately get prepared to move forward and do some work. All right, my absolutely beautiful Leo friends, I hope you have a delicious month, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye, Leo.